Hello, hello. I just realized it has been a fucking hot minute since I've done one of these. And not because things have been bad by any stretch, but more just because it's been happening so fucking quickly that I haven't had the time. I just haven't. And I haven't really thought to. I think this is one of the first times I've had to just in while. Anyhow. Buckle up, buckaroos. A little bit of a catch up. The last time I did one of these, I think it was right after the hippie hut, or shortly, or not the hippie hut, Hobbit hike. I'd went to do one after the hippie hut had closed last year, and just never really got around to it. I did one, and I got all like frazzle fucked because my husband had woke up, smoked a bong, and was like coughing in hysterics, and I was like mid video. I think it was like it was pretty far along, and I'm just not crafty enough. Like I'd pause it and then try to keep going and then pause it and try to keep going, and then it was a matter of just like it didn't work anyhow. To I digress. This past year, and it's been about a year because the Hobbit hike is coming up again, has been fucking insane. I set the intention last year and I'd said like last year showed me that I can't be told it can't be done. And I fucking ran, like sprinted with that. Let me tell you. So in that time, I was still working at the hippie hut. I was still doing the art thing, still doing like the traveling shows and stuff like that. And then I had started guest spot tattooing again. I've been tattooing for the better part of 16 years at this point, and it was a matter of just I didn't work in shop. There was a lot to getting sober that I just could not do in the traditional tattoo studio setting that I knew. And so I left for a really long time. I left for about 8 years where I was just tattooing from home. Like it was a very kind of hush hush thing. Was it the best thing to do? No, honestly. Like there are better practices. But it was a matter of I upheld this standard. And even the health inspector, whenever I'd done my health board certification, like after this stretch, she was like, Brooke. She appreciated how well my kit was composed and everything like that. And she really did say, she's like, thank you for going the extra mile. Now I'm actually certified to travel and to like even if it was in someone's house, it's a matter of like making sure I let the health board know, have them come check it out if absolutely necessary, but I am cleared to travel on my own if I so choose. It'll cost you a lot extra though. I apologize. However, again, I digress. A billion stories out of one today. I apologize. Also, if you're seeing this and upset about it, no, you're not. I started as a guest spot at this place and in Renfrew. I live in Petawawa. Renfrew is about 55 to an hour away. And I started guest spotting because I knew one of the artists that worked there. The people had sought me out as humble beginnings, and I really vibed. It was great. I started, like, they found out I tattooed, and so I started tattooing there. And then one of my best friends, or like one of the people that I met in the art community, Kelsey, she ended up working there. And so it was her and I started at the same time, and it ended up being just so serendipitous. Like she was starting in as an apprentice under the other tattoo artist that was working there that I knew, Vanessa. And it was a matter of like it couldn't be better timed. Like I ended up becoming her mentor and like teaching and taking over for Vanessa. It just didn't work out with Vanessa. Like Vanessa has a studio here in Petawawa where she lives, and it's already super well established. She has a great following here. And so I ended up basically taking over for Vanessa, and I took over the mentorship for Kelsey. I started going in a lot more than the 1 day a month. I started, or 1 day a week. I started going in like 3 days a week, and then I started like I was a regular artist there. Anyhow, within that, me and Vanessa ended up doing a convention in Ottawa, introduced me to the world of tattoo conventions, and I'm so fucking forever grateful to her for that because she offered me such a soft landing into that world, and I really do feel like she showed me a whole other way. And upon coming back from that, uh, was when things kind of started changing, not in any bad way, in a lot of just like the dust was settling and we were finding who was meant to have him be where. I ended up taking over as part owner. I'm buying in to the shop now and like into with Alex. And still, good with all the artists where artists live. Like we are just happy to art in this world, don't get me wrong. Um and I ended up bringing on two more tattoo apprentices and a piercing apprentice. So now, to catch y'all up to date, I co-own a tattoo studio in Renfrew, the Hive Collective, and it's a tattoo studio piercing. We do like my friend or like my partner does lashes there. We do all sorts of like we have guest artists come in. We have like even massage like come in like anyone that can take up a space, we will rent that space to so long as it kind of fits with our demographic and our narrative and our, you know what I mean? Like, as long as they cool, they pass the vibe check. We have a lot in motion as well, where we're like, I have a full tattoo convention tour this year instead of my normal art market lineup awesomeness. I haven't been to the gym in like 5 or 6 months since my last convention because things have just gratefully been so fucking busy. And again, none of these are bad things. But holy fuck, do they take some effort. Anyhow, I don't think anything about this long story is going to get to be short. So if you are here for this, thank you. And again, buckle up. I'll try my hand at editing, but I have no promises. I'm old school. So once I started getting into the groove of the studio, I became the face of the studio. Again, one of my most favorite roles in the world. I get to hold space for so many different people in a week, and I get to learn so many fucking cool things from the artists I work with, and I get to learn and adapt and like I get to integrate so many of these amazing characteristics into my own being. And that is something that I couldn't have fucking prayed for if I tried. Like, I couldn't have known that that's what I was looking for. The people that I work with at the shop, like the people that we've crossed paths with, even the ones where we kind of just didn't work out, they all taught me something so fucking valuable, and I still have so much room in my heart for every single one of them. And they know as well, like when they're ready to come back, there's room at the table. But there never won't be. And like it keeps coming. I just realized I'm like I went to say a but there's no but. There's no but. There were even moments where like in the beginning, because I'm driving all of this way every day. Like that's 2 hours worth of driving in my day, and that's a lot. But for me, I really enjoy like I take all of the back roads. I'll take the longer way. It could be a 45-minute drive, but that means driving on the 17, which isn't the end of the world. I do it all the time during the winter, which is the more dangerous months, but it's more accessible during the warm weather. And it's one of those things where I get to just breathe the whole way down to work. I would rather be late. Like I don't start my appointments until 10:30 because that's the latest I could be getting into the shop. And I'll stay late. I do not give a fuck. Like our shop closes at 5, but like if I'm with someone, if I'm whatever, like there's no end. And that it's the same for my girls and my humans that work with us. Like if they need to stay at the shop for extended XYZ, like we trust our people. Anyhow, my first car broke. Like it just I asked the universe for magic because I thought that was a good idea. Apparently, things were going too well, and that unsettled me. And so I asked Source for some magic. And without fail, by the end of that drive, because I asked for that magic while I was driving on the 17, the monotonous road, and I was, just kind of like, things have been real easy. Like, show me that magic is still happening. Show me some grand level of whatever. And Source immediately humbled me. I knew that at the end of that drive, I was going to go to Walmart because I wanted to get this mirror that I'd had in my mind for my studio. For like, anyhow, I got this mirror, and I even like grabbed a couple other things. I picked up some doobies right before that, so it was a matter of like, yeah, I'll be settled for the weekend after this, whatever. I went to sit in my car and like turn it on, and the transmission that had been slipping for a long time was finally going, and it just, I'm like, that's not right. Turn it again, and it, instead of getting louder, it got louder, and then it got weaker, and then it just turned over less and less. Like, battery was fine, it kept giving me the transmission like CR or whatever. Anyhow, I knew exactly what it was. I literally had tricks with my shifter to push it to lock my transmission into place, or to like lock that alignment. The car was failing. It was a beater, and we loved Vigo. It did everything I needed it to do, but oh my god. Anyhow, the magic was, though, it died in the Walmart parking lot, where I could safely keep it without receiving a fine or any penalty or any whatever, for the extended period of time that I needed to, because first and foremost, I needed to find out a way to get into work. That day, I didn't have any fucking appointments. I literally wasn't even making money that day, but it was a matter of I was put in a position where I could be somewhere that could help me make money, and I did. I ended up making a couple, like, walk-ins that day. I, like, Source gave me everything that I needed to make that land abrupt, like, hard fucking stop, but comfortable. And like, there was a soft landing pad, and it was a matter of like, I saw it right away. I'm like, I fucked up. I even told the girls at the shop, like I told Kelsey and Alex, I was like, I fucked up. I asked for magic. I asked for magic. Not realizing, not appreciating that I was literally living the magic every single fucking day. Anyhow, the girls after a while were like, Brooke, I don't know what agreement you made with Source, but it needs to stop. Like, you need to apologize. And I did. I fucking did. But apology is accountability. Like, you show up. You just keep showing up and cleaning up the mess. Anyhow, I digress. Again. I was still able, like, I had to take, I think, a block of work off of like a week. And within that week, I was like, no, it's not even a question anymore. I'm making good enough money. I'm getting a car. I'm getting a new car, one that can take me there, one that can fucking get me places. Because this is the year. I'm not having anything limit me anymore from what I can do, from what I know that I can do. Within this, I managed to get Moonbeam, my new car. It was a process. And again, it was like a 4-day chunk of work. I had Alex at one point drive me into work just so that way, like, I could go do some appointments. And like, bless her fucking soul, because she lives in Beachburg. Like, we all live in different places. My 2 apprentices live in Ottawa. The one lives in Renfrew, where the shop actually is, and Kelsey lives in Renfrew, where the shop actually is. But we make it happen. We make it fucking work. Anywho, as if the magic ever stops, I had a ping the other day while driving, because like, this is almost like fast forward months later. Like, I've had my car now for like 5-6 months. I don't know. Time's funny right now. And within that, like, I've gotten so comfortable, and like, I love my car. I live in it. I spend so much time driving. I work about like 5 to 6 days a week, and now I'm reducing that to 5. So I'll be in from Tuesday to Mondays, but Tuesdays are reserved for teaching, and so those are for my apprentices only. Like those are the days that my apprentices will be doing like the bulk of their practice. But on those days, we encourage visits to the shop, and I'll explain that in a moment as well. And because we do have a lot of visitors. Anyhow, I got too comfortable, way too comfortable driving. And I realized lately, like, I need to start being more grateful and taking my freedom of driving less loosey goosey, like, less for granted. And I had a full ass moment where I realized I'm like, Source is going to humble me soon because I've developed a lot of really unhealthy driving habits. Whether that's just I want to get there and I want to get there fast, even when I have nowhere to go. Or if it's a matter of like, I don't know, just like not being as mindful, not being as present, not being as involved with the driving as I should be because it's so long. Instead of trying to escape, it should be a matter of like, this should become the new level of meditation. And I did manage to kind of come into that, but it was a matter of I realized like if I didn't, it was going to be something full stop. It was going to be something where I was going to injure myself. I was going to injure someone else. I was going to, you know what I mean? Like something was going to happen in a way where it was like it could have been prevented. And so I asked, again, I asked Source for something softer. Sorry, my mouth got all funny there. This time I asked because I recognized him, like, okay, I see what could potentially come in. Like, can we do something gentler, please? And like, can we do something where like I'm not losing the bulk of my income? I'm not, like, yeah. Anyhow, that next day or two, I think it was 2 days later, I was pulled over for speeding, and it wasn't even for work. I was coming in for a clothing swap, still to Renfrew, like because a lot of my friends live in Renfrew now, but I had no reason to rush. And this person in front of me was basically offering me an opportunity to like just slow the fuck down. They were already going 100, like they were at a steady pace. I was in a rush for zero reason other than I wanted to get there and I had a perceived deadline in my head. And I went to take the only ability I had to pass on the road, like where the dotted lines broke. But then another car had started coming. And to my luck, I sped up to finish my maneuver to speed ahead and kind of take off first. And I locked eyes and made eye contact with the undercover police officer that was coming the other way. And granted, this was such a wonderful human. Like this, if ever there was a good way to be pulled over, like he was such a gentle, I was grateful. I was really, really grateful. And of course, like he's authority. So like he comes over and I'm like, here's my driver's license and my registration and just take it all. Like I don't, anyhow, he was beyond helpful. He's like, listen, I see what you did there. You're good. He's still got a ticket. He's like, this could have been worse though. He's like, I really need you to acknowledge, like, this could have been worse. Like, you could have lost your license for 30 days. Like, that could have been huge, dude. And I was just in such appreciation. And I, like, paid the fine that same night. I was like, nope, done. Never again. And my driving has been very grandma coded ever since. However, about a week later, my husband and I, we were out for a four-wheeler ride, and it was just we were having fun. We came home. We were both kind of like in a good place of like, yeah, just let's wind down. And we checked the mail, and there was a notice in the mail. Bear in mind, I'm a G2 driver that lives in Ontario. We just got a new sanction that or like stipulation or whatever, sanction, for G2 and G1 drivers that there's no tolerance for speeding, for nothing. Like no tolerance for alcohol, no tolerance for none of it. And my license was suspended for 30 days anyways. Immediately I was like, fuck, because again, like my tattoo studio, my entire livelihood is an hour away. Like I need to get there, I need to be at the shop for the shop to do shop things. But it was such a matter of like, I called my dad to see right away. I'm like, is there anything that can be done about this? Was this a mistake? Is there a loophole? If not, that's fine. And I fully own what I did because, again, I broke the law. Like, it seems silly and it seems like childish, but no, I literally broke the law. Like, I had no need to be that aggressive on the road. And if that's my constant, like, just baseline, then why am I working a job where I'm on the road 24 fucking 7? It's like, if I cannot slow down and be a safe person to be on that fucking road, why would the universe keep putting me in a place that I can do that? Anyhow, it's my logic on it anyway. So my dad was like, no. He's like, I'm sorry. This is very much like, my dad's like trained as a law clerk and he works with big, anyway. He's like, nope, there's no way out. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's fine. At least I still have my car. I still have my new car. I still have my license. It's just a matter of 30 days. And, you know, I have friends that live in the area that I can stay with. Friends have spare rooms. My husband can drive me down. I have friends that can drive me and fill in gaps if necessary. Um, like, I'm not stuck in this. And my dad even kind of joked. He's like, this must feel so weirdly nostalgic for you. And it does. It really does. Because, like, right now, too, I'm making less money not being in shop those full 5 days a week. Anyhow, I'm grateful that, again, the universe, source, God, whatever you prefer to call it, I like source, it offered me that soft landing again in such a beautiful fucking way. And this is why I always say prayer works. It's not a matter of like someone or something is answering it. It's a matter of the whole thing just kind of falls into place as you work with it. And it's not just pray for it and it shall come. No, dude. Again, you gotta work for it. Like, those things only worked because I was a lunatic and stubborn and was willing enough to just work with it. Anyhow, for those of you who haven't seen these videos or these talks or these whatevers before but have met me in person, I'm sure it's not too far a stretch. For those of you who haven't met me in person, this might be a little bit like, the fuck is this bitch on about? This is what I do. I talk, I connect. I'm very honest in my processes and in my journey throughout because it's a matter of we don't talk about these things nearly enough. We don't realize that it is a possible reality to just go and exist however the fuck you choose to go and exist. I don't like making these things often because it is not my intention to become any level of influencer or creator or like it, not to put any shame or name onto those individual career paths. It's just not mine. I have so many other interests that I would prefer to pursue, but it's a matter of the amount of people constantly telling me to write a book, and I just don't got time to write a fucking book. So this is the book. You're welcome. You can disseminate that as you choose. I also hold lots of space, and to kind of circle back to what I was talking to about earlier, Tuesdays now being kind of visiting days, and of course, everyone is welcome to come in after that, but we're going to have new policies in place about people coming to visit after 12 if they're not in for appointments. Our shop, being a collective, it's more than just a place where we offer services. Like, this space truly has become a container that holds so many different personality types, and in such is really, really helpful and healing for the people that kind of come in and feel safe to exist in that space. We have people from all walks of life, and so it's a matter of no one is necessarily like pushed out, but we do have to remain and maintain some level of professional boundary because we're not therapists. We're not, you know what I mean? Like, we can be healers in the sense that we as humans have experienced healing, and so we can share in our experience to kind of facilitate that space. Like, let you talk about it, let you vent, like let you open to what and who you are so that we can know you. But after and within that, we are a space for creativity. We express that through our art. We we have people who will come in and just work on their own individual artwork and kind of connect with our artists and talk and work through, like, hey, this is the artist block I'm having, like, what do I do here? And all of us will kind of come in and be like, you know what, whenever I'm in that spot, I do this. And that usually, like, I love hearing people come back and be like, oh my god, you'd never guess what I've done since seeing you guys last week. And that to me is fucking huge, because, like, we don't have that anywhere. I didn't have that anywhere. Like, I went looking for so many aspects of, like, community and connection and humanity and humility. And I was only finding that in little shards here and there all over the place. And granted, I think that's how it's supposed to be done, because then you're going out of your comfort zone to meet those people in those spaces and those things. And then we have people who will come in and, like, play guitar. Like, we just met this one fella and he's such a sweetheart, and he's got depths of his own that are, like, fucking unbearable. And so to come in and have that place that he can just play, and then also to talk and to be met by real humans, no need for, like, coercion or manipulation or look at how cool I am, look at how smart I am, because that's not what we do. It's a matter of, dude, that's deep. How do you deal? We're not here to help you get rid of it. Like, here's how we've dealt with certain levels of our own depths. But otherwise, play. Play the music. The music will help work with those depths. It's the things beyond words. Anyhow. This year was meant to be about connection and collaboration and art. And adventure. Always adventure. That's never going away. But the location of the studio itself makes it so that there's no limits to how much adventure I can have in that day. If anything, I was getting a little sick of it. And it's probably good I got this little break. my my mentees, I don't know, juniors. I like calling them juniors because it's not a matter of, like, I have a weird relationship with the mentor thing. Anyhow, I've had a lot of mentors myself, and I'm really grateful because it's so many different voices of opinion being able to show and sculpt and morph and create and cultivate. And I say the very same thing for the people that are learning under me. Like, half of them are older than I am, and they have full ass, like, art degrees. Like, they just need to know how to use the machines, and, like, they need to know the level of, like, contaminant risk and the level of hygiene that should be maintained and why. They need to know, like, why certain skin types react the way it does, why certain, like, skin sensitivities, like, I got really bad skin at times. I'm broken out right now. But it's like hives or psoriasis, or, like, in my case, psoriasis. Why certain skin types, when inflamed, won't heal in certain capacities, or why they'll take longer to heal. They need to know the semantics. And that in and of itself is, like, a 6 months to a year process minimum. And, like, whenever I was going through my like, my trainings, those processes were, like, upwards of 3 years. Ivan, like, my last mentor, was really, really strict with with the people that apprenticed under him. Sorry, thought I heard something. He was really strict to the people that apprenticed under him, that they have a 3-year window, a 3-year gap of learning, where the first year you're not tattooing at all. Like, you're basically just shop shit. You're learning how to build and rebuild and fuck up and unfuck up the machines. And I spent my last mentorship under him learning how to tear apart and put together those machines. Like, I was really grateful to have even a glimpse of what that mentorship looked like. But he was brutal. And, like, a lot of my mentors were fucking brutal. And so to be able to integrate a lot of, like, these traditional methods and bring them in with so much of the new things that I'm learning from collaborating with people in this level of industry. And it really is a whole new fucking industry these days. It gives them some level of platform to jump off of and to run off of. That's all I can hope to be. But the more that they stay and we get to learn together, the more that we take new people in and ask them about their particular styles, their wants and wills through the industry themselves, the more we get, like, we're now friends with all of our health inspectors, like, along the board. And so we can ask them, like, hey, if we're looking to travel, what are things we should really consider for like our kit? How should we consider traveling with our inks? How should we consider traveling with sharps? Like, how do we, dispose as we go? Okay, cool. Travel with bags, travel with as much plastic wrap as we can physically fucking manage. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, we should always be learning and evolving. It's our responsibility as artists that provide a service in this capacity to be learning, to be constantly doing better. Yearly bloodborne pathogen updates, yearly, you know what I mean? Like, it's in our best interest. It just is. And so it's like school for kids. I'm just trying to teach them what to look for, how to ask those questions, how to kind of maneuver the industry so that they can put themselves in places that make sense for their individual style and wants and goals and needs. Like, they as artists are such individual humans, and they have so many different wants and wills. Me and Kelsey want to go to Germany. Like, we want to travel Europe and like do tattooing. We want to eventually go out and adventure out and like learn beyond. I feel like after this break from the industry, coming back in, like, I feel like a brand new artist all over again. And parts of my pride in the beginning were really hurt by that and really like, should I be teaching? But I think it's the level of like the latter of the past 17 years in this industry, being trained by the artists I had been, being in the different shop settings and environments that I had been, and like sticking out through some of the hardest times of my fucking life, because that's what this industry is. Like, you starve through it, you eat through it, there's the high and the low. And that's why so many of us are forever talking about the dead seasons. Like, there are moments where there's just fucking nothing, and so you need to know how to travel, how to adventure beyond the shop, how to, make money outside of your own backyard, how to, other art forms. Like, I spent the past 5 years building humble beginnings so that I had some level of work outside of the tattoo industry that was still feeding me, even whenever I like, even if it wasn't a normal 9 to 5 job, because I could not do the 9 to 5 plus do all this at the capacity that I fucking need to. I can't be told that that's not what I'm meant to do anymore. I don't believe it. I just fucking don't. Anyhow, catching it up. I am on week 2 of my 4-week suspension per my driver's license. And immediately after that, I will be going. I'm getting a call from Span. Immediately after that, I'll be going for my G license so that this doesn't happen again. And also, yeah, anyhow, this next 2 months, I will not be home almost at all. Tonight, am leaving to my friends so it's Tuesday today. I come back home on Monday because on Saturday, my husband picks me up from Renfrew and from work, and we go to Bruno Mars. We get to go to a concert with my daughter, and then we're at the hotel until Monday, and then we come back home, and on the Tuesday night, I leave again. And then, yeah, but that one's my last week. And immediately after I get my driver's license, I've got the Hobbit hike. The full circle of the year and the magic. And then immediately after the Hobbit hike, so I go from the Hobbit hike, come home, repack my bags, do the loop-de-loop, and then I drop all my things off at my friend Petra's, where I am going to house sit for her while she goes home to the Czech Republic for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But at least I get to enjoy her beautiful home. And she's so courteous to extend that to me. I love being able to just have the space, the trees, the deck, the balcony. Damn with my titties out. Like, Jesus. I don't get to do that. I live in an apartment building. And so I am really grateful to, after this, to have that break. And then immediately after that, I have July to recoup at home. And then, yeah, then convention season starts in August. I have a convention each month from August to November. August, I'll be in London. September, I'll be in Niagara. October, I'll be at Ottawa Gatineau. And in November, I will be in Oshawa. It's worth it. It is all for so much more than I could see, even right now. But that's been my update. This has been my TED Talk. Again, we're at 36 minutes. I will try to edit, but I have no promises. If you're in it, you're in it for the thick of it. I appreciate you. I will try to do a little bit more of these because the amount of things that have happened, the amount of magic that has happened over this past year, over this past 5-6 years, if not longer. Like, I've been pushing for this for the past decade, and this is all the accumulated work. This is all the accumulated effort. This is every cry for help and every answered prayer. It just took time. And so I really do feel like some level of me wants to document every bit of this magic, even though I suck at it. Maybe my humans at the shop will help me get better with this. Because Zori, Morgan, Kelsey, and Shell are all so much better at documenting this generation of media awesomeness. And they're all older than me, except for Shell. But actually, me and Zori are the same age. Love this. Love this. Are people meeting people. And then we have Alex, who is like I always call her our fearless leader, but I think it's more a matter of like her and I just kind of wing it and we're like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And then it happens. We're currently working on, I shouldn't even say it, but something that's going to be mobile and awesome, and we're insane. We're only year one. Our birthday at the shop is at the end of this month. The fuck? Thank you to every one of my humans that make this worth it and that make it work. Because it's not just me. And I really appreciate the ones who remind me daily that a lot of it, though, is me. This entire process and project has been about getting on the other side of imposter syndrome. And that should be another, actually, recap video in and of itself, because I know I've touched on that, but I got different views now. Like, a lot of good ones. Anyway, topic for another day. We're at like 38 minutes. If you're here still, I appreciate you. Doodles.